Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Haziq, and today I'll be starting off the presentation for a group project in the course Data Structures and Algorithms 2, CSCI 3302, Section 4. And our group is Amirul, Haziq, and friends. And let us begin. All right, now moving on to the content of our presentation. This is just an overview, I guess. We have the introduction, which we're already part of, and then I'll go on to the problem statement, and then my friends will cover brute force, divide and conquer, analysis of algorithm result, and after that we'll have a live demonstration. Thank you. All right, before we get started, let's introduce our group members. We have myself, Muhammad Enron Haziq bin Muhammad Asmadi, 23159, and to my right, which is Muhammad Hadi Hussaini bin Jumadi, metric number 2316199. And to my left, we have brother Muhammad Al Hijaz bin Muhammad Haris, metric number 2313491. Before we continue, we would like to express our gratitude to both of you, Dr. Yusina and Dr. Liana, for teaching us this course, Data Structures 2. We are really grateful that you taught us all the concepts, even when you are not feeling well, and we appreciate that. And we hope Allah will ease all of your hardships today and in the future, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen. Keep fighting.
For Dr. Aizal and Dr. Liana, thank you both. This course has been enjoyable to learn. For Dr. Aizal, Shafakila madam, get well soon.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I just want to say thank you so much to Dr. Aiza for teaching us, even though when you were going through your surgery, I think it really means a lot to us. Thank you so much, and thank you to Dr. Liana for taking her go and actually spending time with us and teaching us means a lot. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again next semester.
Now, moving on to our problem background and statement. Our group is focusing on the closest pair problem, which involves finding 2 points in a 2D plane with the smallest Euclidean distance. So this appears in areas like computational geometry, navigation, and clustering. And as the data sizes grow, simple solutions become too slow. So we need to develop efficient algorithms to fast process these like large data sets. And then the statement, I guess, part is to analyze and compare two algorithms, which are brute force and divide and conquer, to solve the closest pair problem. And then we're going to implement both these methods using Python and test them on random 2D point data sets. We're going to measure their performance in terms of execution, time, and accuracy. And we're going to evaluate which algorithm handles large data sets better, and we're gonna visualize with data to support the comparison, and of course we'll highlight the strengths and weaknesses of each method and to see which is the better algorithm for which problem. And as you can see here, a real life example is that of the air traffic control when they need to see the closest airplane, so make sure that no accidents happen in the air because that could be very catastrophic. And yeah, we'll get into that right now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll be explaining about the brute force algorithm. So, brute force is known to have the time complexity of the worst case scenario of O(n) square and space complexity of the worst case scenario O(1). And then the functionality of the script that we have written in Google Colab is that it will read the 2D points from the CSV file that is generated by the code beforehand, and then it will compute the distance between all point pairs using nested loops and identifies the closest pair. So brute force algorithm, it is effective and accurate for small input sizes only. However, when the input size increases, there might be a possibility that um, the algorithm can be ineffective and slower. There is also lack of early termination, and it has a high computational cost.
Alright, for the divide and conquer algorithm, this algorithm only works if the array is already sorted, either by the x point or y points. The algorithm will divide the arrays into two subarrays recursively until it reaches the base case of 2 or 3 points. Then we will perform brute force algorithm only on this base case subarray. The array will be divided into two, left and right, and then it will return the shortest distance from each of them, and from this shortest distance, the algorithm will use it to calculate a possible midline cross pairing, or you could say that there could be a middle array and the shorter pair might be in it. The time complexity for this algorithm is n log n, and the space complexity is O(n).
So the brute force algorithm, the performance is tracked based on three uh three types of performance, which is the 1,000 points, 10,000 points, and 20,000 points. So when we tested out for 1,000 points, the algorithm is able to complete it uh, around 0.399 seconds. And then when it is applied in the 10,000 points, it is um, the execution time took a bit took quite a while, which took around 30.99 seconds, making an increase of around 7,669 seconds, 69%. So it is quite a lot, and it took around half a minute to actually complete the 10,000 points performance. Whereas for the 20,000 points performance, it gets gradually worse. When the data set is doubled, the time increased further to 75.953 seconds, which is an additional 145% increase. That is a lot for an algorithm to actually solve the closest pair. So, however, unlike the brute force algorithm, the divide and conquer algorithm is actually much more efficient in completing this performance task. So, when you see for the 1,000 points performance is that the divide and conquer is able to complete by 0.011871 seconds. So that is quite fast compared to the brute force algorithm. And then for 10,000 points performance, when the number of points increase to 10,000, it is able to execute until 0.170526 seconds, which is still below half a second. So that's actually quite fast. So for 20,000 points, when the dataset is doubled, it is also able to complete the whole process by 0.206982 seconds, which is really fast compared to the brute force algorithm, where it actually can take around 1 minute, 15 seconds to just complete the 20,000 points. Yeah.
So the result is pretty clear. Both algorithms finds the same pair from the arrays of points, but they have different execution time and different growth rate. Brute force has an execution time of 0.399 seconds on a sample size of 1000 points, and divide and conquer on the same sample size has an execution time of 0.012. When it comes to growth rate, when we increase the sample size from 1000 to 10,000, brute force increased by 76 times in terms of the execution time, whereas divide and conquer only grows by 14 times. From the performance analysis of both algorithms, it's clear that divide and conquer performs better than brute force. However, if we look at comparison on small data set like 10 points or maybe 15 points, brute force has shorter execution time than divide and conquer. This could be because of brute force simple algorithm in finding a closest pair. In conclusion, both algorithms has their own strength and weakness. Brute force thrives when the dataset is small because of its simplicity. There is no unnecessary function stack for two or three possible pairing, and we can see this in the divide and conquer base cases. However, when the dataset is large, we want divide and conquer algorithm because of its performance. Its low time complexity means that as the dataset increase, the execution time of the process will also not increase as much.
Now we're showing a live demonstration of our code. As you can see, we have the generate random points, and then we have the brute force algorithm, and then we'll have the divide and conquer algorithm. Basically, the generate random points will be transferred to the brute force and the divide and conquer algorithm. And there's three instances. There's the 1,000 points here, and then we'll have the 10,000 points, and then we'll have the 20,000 points. This one, right? And now let us run the code. We'll go back up. We'll go back up. And as you can see here, our points will be saved into a CSV. All right, 1,000 random points saved to points.csv. And then if you look at the start of the code, basically it will just import the generated random points, and then press the brute force algorithm. And here it gave us the closest pair is uh, this one, x9327 and y4366, and these 2 points basically are the closest, so they would be 9,300, 4,000, somewhere here I think. uh yeah, somewhere here. And then when this is 4.2835, and then we'll try that with the divide and conquer. Just 9327 4366. Now here, and then we find something different here, 9826 4370, which is almost the same, almost the same. And this is 4.2835. 4.2835. Okay, nice. That's the minimum distance. So meaning there's 4 points, no, two pairs of points with the same distance coincidentally. All right. Now we'll do the generate random points for the 10,000 points, and let us do that. And these are the points. As you can see, my computer is slowing down because the code is very big. Uh, this is the these are the points, and we'll try with the brute force algorithm, which should take a little bit of time. As you can see, this is the algorithm. Basically, it just draws the dots on a graph using like matplotlib, and it just tries to find the closest points between every pair of points. And here we have it. We have the closest pair is 3129 and 3129. They're almost the same here. And the minimum distance is 0.8086. Okay, and let's try to do that for divide and conquer. All right, and here you got it, 0.806. The green tick, I'm not sure if you can see it, doctor, but yeah, that's the closest pair of points, and the execution time is pretty fast compared to the brute force, which was 18 seconds. All right, now for the lastly, we have the generate points 2,000, 20,000, and here you have see the screen is filled with points, and then we'll do the brute force algorithm. I think this will take quite a while, so please be patient. Oh, I think I can edit this part. All right, now as you can see, the code has finished running, and it took 70 seconds, but to you it felt like 1 second, right? Basically, the reason why it was long because the code just looks at every possible pair of dots, and it finds the two dots that are the closest, shows them on the graph, and it tells us how long it took, which is 70 seconds. And these are the points. These are the closest pair, which is here in the left third quadrant here. If you divide into four quadrants, the points is here, and then we'll try that with the divide and conquer algorithm, which should not take very long, but my computer is slowing down. Okay, and as you can see here, yeah, 0.226528 seconds. And here are the closest pair, the green dot. I'm not sure if you can see it. And yeah, that is how our code runs. Thank you, Doctor, for looking at our presentation. We pray that you have a speedy recovery, inshallah.